Hi, this is author-philosopher Ronald E. Springer of EthicsUnderground.com here to continue the reading of Moral Armor. Chapter 8, Part 9, Consciousness is Imagination and Sanction of the Irrational. Please hit like and subscribe before we dive in. There is much criticism about the role of comprehension in human destinies by those who wish to set it aside as a non-causal factor. To the fear-driven, the content of the mind is soup, a mixture of chemicals not defined by conscious will, but defining conscious will, unreasoning drivers that prove he is not to blame, while simultaneously proving that achievers are not to be praised. The chemicals decide for him and determine his behavior, chemicals that are just there for some reason, whose existence or non-existence is to be juggled with diet or sleep, but never by self-discipline or any volitional consideration. His focus then is to prepare an environment to conjure chemicals that will make the right decisions, leading to prosperity in all things. Striving to evade the responsibility of thought, he wishes to believe that the abstract world is simply imagination where nothing commits him to anything, but it isn't true. Imagination is only one facet of cognition. In a self-made man, there are many wonderful and varied actions of mind, whose biological/chemical trail is so eagerly sought by the effortless. There is the action of solving a problem, looking to the fundamentals of existence and rebuilding scenarios until solutions are found. There is the act of discovery in the physical world, of wide-open senses eager to absorb it all, to be enjoyed and stored within his experience. There is the cognitive discovery of a mind following all the implications of new data, combing through his intellect to improve prior understandings and make new connections. There is the action of verifying that an idea or a conclusion is true. There is the exhilarating romantic projection of one's own future. These are the living actions of mind: evaluation, judgment, reflection, creation, discovery, and there are countless others. The spirit murderers have an anti-path for every one of them, which all funnel back to their causeless, effortless ideal. There is an immoral, life-taking path for every virtue, be aware of it, but for the most part, a spirit murderer prefers to remain primitive and attempts to replace all actions of consciousness with the one requiring no discipline, his limitless and therefore useless imagination. Sanction of the irrational. To a self-made man, even his imagination has a productive intent, but the subject of purpose is foreign to the fear-driven. Spirit murderers aren't creators. They have never reached the conceptual level of consciousness which gives one full appreciation for creative activity. They prefer to remain in the nearsighted, untaxing range immediately before them, unable to differentiate what is man-made from what is earth-born, unwilling to separate imagination from thought, and unable to think independently. The mental isolation of attributes for classification or any other phase of thought is just too complex. They never had to work for values in their cognitively sheltered childhood, and unconditioned for that tenacity, they stay focused on the pavement just before them. Exhausted by the simplest cognitive effort and in tantrum against being lost, they dance around saying, "See, la, I can get away with being irrational. It isn't killing me." And in that 20 seconds, they conclude that discipline, because it is not forced on them, is unnecessary for the rest of their lives as well. Thought is a realm outside the power of domination, and perhaps in rebellion against the oppression they've submitted to, they drop their minds, saying, "See, I have the power not to use it. That is my stamp of individuality." We all have that power, and it defines or defies our pride. To use it is to acquire pride for the choice of life. To abandon it is to conjure the pestilence of shame for the choice of death, first of spirit, next of body. But this is one realm where they feel they can get away with it. They can say no in the face of truth, and nothing immediately bad happens. They suffer no visible harm. With no one to stop them, they come to agree that their minds can be as fluid and as wishy-washy as their teachers profess, where anything goes. They come to believe there are no facts, only opinions, and their opinion of what is good and evil, of what works for them, sheltering their esteem by allowing no investigation into their motives, is no less valid than any other. They say, "It has to be right. My own guardians encouraged it. They said there were no answers, so that means my non-answer can't be wrong." In defiance, they evict from their lives all those for whom there is an answer, and left to grope for self-esteem, they wonder why their free rein against cognition is not resulting in any fulfillment. The truth is, what works for them doesn't work. They couldn't act like a fool in a job interview and expect to get the job. They couldn't drive a car so carelessly and keep their license. Exclaiming what, in any practical avenue of life, will bring not rewards but harm, they try to run a life by such means, and as in all other realms, it results in nothing but penalties. Lacking the courage to admit the source of their shame, in moments of quiet desperation, they sense regret for their life's course. Misery bleeds through as their nature cannot be repressed and comes to haunt them in their hatred for the independent man, the one who did not drop the responsible structure of his consciousness, who now enjoys all the benefits they long for. In place of the passion they could feel by using their minds to satisfy the natural human need of self-confirmation in choosing life-furthering values, they feel passionate hatred toward those who have achieved it. You can witness fear-driven impotence firsthand when a discussion about their course of action gets heated. You need not be a genius and explain or expect refutation of a rational pattern of cognition. The next time you hear, "That might work for you, but it won't work for me," ask, "How does your method work?" Blank stare. What are the steps? Looks at shoes. Their actual steps are 1. Feel problems looming. 2. Evade them. And 3. Suffer, and they've earned it. That's all for now. Next up is impotence of mind. I split these videos up by subject so you'd have a better chance of finding moral armor, and then perhaps go through the whole thing for free. Why? To help create a leader in every life. Sound civilization stair-steps up from sound coherence to sound individual, to productive groups of mature individuals. Self-hatred drives fear-driven people in our world to wipe out the individual, so we all need moral armor to protect ourselves and the future of mankind. Click subscribe and leave a thumbs up if you'd like to help wipe out moral confusion fast and make the world a better place.